the old camera.
So patriotic up in this bitch.
All right, so what's going on, guys? So we just got out of the IMAX 4K restoration screening for 2001 Space Odyssey from my man Stanley Kubrick, my favorite director all time. One of my favorite movies of all time, obviously. And you've never seen it before.
I have not. I've never seen any of it.
And we're about to review this bad boy. And we're operating at 24 frames per second right now. What's happening?
Ooh.
We got some more shit coming too. I'm gonna capture this film look until I can shoot and film. But anyways, we're gonna review this goddamn thing, which feels so weird because like I've loved this movie my whole life, and like it's weird that we're about to just straight talk about this motherfucker. This was the first movie that I ever bought personally, and I bought it on DVD an ancient amount of time ago. And I guess, God, I don't even know how to start. Well, I guess we'll start with just how the movie starts. So it's like we fade into just pure blackness, and there's just this weird, ominous music playing that kind of sounds like there's like human vocals, like human vocal harmonies in it, right? But it just stays like that for like
ever.
Couple minutes, 3 minutes, something like that.
Long enough for you to question whether or not they forgot to turn on the projector. It's like just playing the sound.
It's just like, what the fuck's happening? Is Stanley, like, is he fucking with me, right? And my best crack at what he was aiming for was that it feels like some kind of
he's immersing you.
Yeah, like some kind of induction process, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you're putting someone under for hypnosis. Kind of like the same situation, you know.
I've
like
never been hypnotized.
He's getting you. He's putting you under for the movie.
He's getting you hyped.
It's crazy in a way. And then we start with a flashback to the dawn of man, literally, right? With these beings that would ultimately become us today. And first off, these shots of like outside shots of the environment were fucking incredible, you know.
Yeah.
Probably filmed right at dusk, you know.
Yeah, and they must have filmed somewhere out west.
Yeah.
In like the Badlands or like.
It was like Westworld
or something.
It's like Westworld.
The original Westworld or the new Westworld?
No, the HBO.
We gotta watch the original Westworld, Jor-Els.
You guys see the? Have you been watching the
No,
series?
I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I love the movie.
We gotta watch
so much.
We gotta watch the series, but did I introduce you? I feel like it did. But this is Amanda.
Oh, I'm Amanda.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. Anyway.
We forgot. I've been around.
Yeah, you've seen her. Shit. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the Dawn of Man. So like the exterior shots are so epic. Like these big widescreen shots are just perfect. You know, god damn. And then when the apes come,
I want to know who came up with the costuming for the apes, because they actually look like realistic ish creatures. They don't look like straight up fakes. They look better than the Planet of the Apes, like the old Planet of the Apes movies. They look better than that.
I was blown away by first off, the quality and the image resolution of the print that we just witnessed was incredible. Like it was just like razor sharp, the quality. You know what I'm saying? Like watching the little nuances in the apes' faces and stuff, I was like, holy shit, Stanley! I wasn't aware that, whoa, you know, because I've never seen this movie projected that big, so I noticed a lot of nuances that I'd never caught before, even though I've seen the movie countless times.
I've never seen it, so I have nothing to compare it to. Like, this is going to be the best one I've ever seen, and I'm going to see it again later in my life and just be like, what is this?
Gosh. Well, the Dawn of Man. Yeah, the suits, the ape suits were really impressive, actually.
Yeah.
It's like you just knew in the back of your mind that like these are actors, but like you could totally still get lost into it, you know? And that's the power of Kubrick.
I think the babies are literal chimpanzees.
Yeah, it's weird. But
they like fit in. Like you're not like, that's a chimpanzee and that's a human. You're just like,
Yeah, it's like there was real animals and
what are these things?
Mixed in with the humans pretending to be like those animals, which was a very interesting choice. And I was just blown away by how seriously Stanley took it. Like, he made this bitch as if it was like his own version of the BBC Planet Earth series. That's what it fucking felt like, except directed by fucking Kubrick. It was weird because there was so much patience. You know, he wasn't in no fucking hurry.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
you know?
It is drawn out.
And you really get a sense of the lifestyle of these apes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get a gist of, like, their whole social hierarchy and how they fight for territory with other bands of ape creatures.
It's like, it's amazing the amount of information.
And they hang out with the tapirs, and they let the tapirs hang around. But if the tapirs get too uppity, they slap them tapirs in the face.
And it's amazing. Well, I mean, throughout the whole movie as well. But it's amazing how during the Dawn of Man section, how much information you're being fed without there being straightforward dialogue over-explaining everything.
Yeah, you know? There's no dialogue at all because they can't talk.
But we're like, we're comprehending it like so effortlessly.
Yeah.
You know, that's like how well the story's told. And first off, because it's been a little minute since I've seen the movie, the sequence where the apes are like laying down and they're all awake and they're looking around in like a panicked way because that big wildcat.
Yeah, the leopard.
It's like they can hear it breathing, so they know it's nearby. You know. And first off, the shot of that cat is already just iconic and acceptable.
Let's talk about that shot where the cat attacks that one ape man.
Oh, wait.
Did that guy literally get attacked by a leopard to get that shot?
I don't know.
He had to.
I don't know.
They just were like, okay, leopard, get that guy. And he did. And the guy was just like, oh, shit. Like, it was no big deal.
Yeah, I feel like somebody was like, Stanley, there's a part in the screenplay that we want to talk about. And he's like... And I feel like Stanley, you know, because he seemed like...
He just shapeshifted into a leopard and got him.
I feel like Stanley was like, yeah, guys, just find a way and make sure no one gets hurt. And he probably just walked... And I feel like Stanley just walked out of the fucking office and, like, forgot everything he just said and moved completely on, right? Like, I feel like that's what happened. So, Stanley, is this what you want to do? He's probably like, yeah, just make sure no one gets hurt. And then he just took off. Okay, so before we move on to what you're talking about, though...
What did I talk about?
Well, in regards to the wildcat.
Oh, okay.
So the first few shots of it are, it's just, it feels like a piece of art. It's hard to describe the way that's laying on like, I think it was like a zebra or something like that.
Yeah.
And his eyes are glowing against the sky. It's so fucking beautiful,
Did
right?
they try to get the eye glow or did they just happen to? Because they were using hardcore lights and they were like, fuck it, leave it in, it looks metal.
It had to have been intentional, right?
I don't know. Yeah, probably, but...
I mean, the man's known for doing... 30 takes, 50 takes, 100 takes,
alright, yeah,
whatever.
That's true.
A lot of takes, but like an insane amount, essentially. But anyways, the breathing of the wildcat was my point. I never noticed this before until like right this last viewing, but like the breathing of the wildcat had like this rhythmic effect. So as you observed the apes listening to it, it just became like almost like some kind of eerie music or something for these apes, and they're just like, god damn. It's not so much that they were listening to the cat, it's more so just like, fuck, like is their livelihood about to get fucked up by this cat? Are they about to lose a couple people? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's serious, you know?
You just gotta stay awake and
I really love that. It's interesting. But when that one dude got tackled by the wildcat, I don't know, maybe that just happened like that.
That looked like it happened.
I don't know.
For real. Like, I don't know how they would have edited that in the 60s.
I don't know. I have no idea, but wow. Oh, also, when the movie first starts and it's all black and then it fades to the MGM logo that's all blue, I like squealed inside. I was so excited. Jesus. Just the whole intro with the sweeping orchestra music that's just so iconic now. It's just...
I have a random question that's completely out of this discussion.
My boy, huh?
Is the car running gonna feed back on the camera?
Well, yeah, but I don't
interfere with it?
I mean, I don't think it's... I'll probably just turn it off just in case. I don't think it's gonna be too bad.
Alright, sorry for interrupting.
No. But... No, it was a good thing to bring up, but and I can kind of see myself more on the camera, but...
Yeah, like, we're gonna watch it later in the first half of the videos, just be like...
Nah, I don't think. Hopefully, it's not too bad. But anyway,
take this off.
Yeah. So the Dawn of Man. Well, first off, I can't imagine how many takes Kubrick demanded from the people acting like apes, because they literally. My God.
And they were like the desert, probably, for at least some of the shots. They were probably in the literal desert and not just on a stage.
There's definitely shots where, you know, maybe there was like a projected background and then there was like a set or something, for sure. Because, I mean, I only know this because, like, I just loved the movie so long that, you know, you research stuff behind the scenes. But, yeah, I was just blown away by how elaborate the acting was from the guys playing the apes. It's like, Jesus Christ, you know? Their performances.
Yeah.
It was just so layered, you know? They weren't simple performances.
No, they were good. And they each had their own thing going on. They weren't all, like, acting exactly the same.
And I like that the ape costumes had just, like, a really moody sort of gothic.
They were mean looking.
Like, they look creepy. They look creepy, you know?
Yeah. They looked like if you saw one.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't want to.
Like, I'm out.
I don't want to go near that fucking thing.
What the? What is that?
And then when that the legendary monolith arrives,
just out of nowhere too.
Out of nowhere.
It wasn't there, and then
That's the scary part. It disappeared, right?
Yeah.
And I love. Well, that's a big thing that I'm just gonna go ahead and say. Like, I love that we never see the aliens. We'll never see.
Are there aliens? Are we sure they're aliens? Maybe the monoliths are the aliens.
I'm sure.
We don't know.
It's aliens. Shit. It's well, I don't know. I doubt that, Stanley. Well, anyway, it's aliens. Okay, in my opinion. What the fuck? It's aliens.
The monolith might be the alien.
I don't know. But I love that we never physically saw whatever the fuck created that goddamn creepy rectangle, right? And then the music comes in, which to this day has got to be some of the most eeriest music ever composed, right? And the fucking apes are all freaking out, and it's just, the shot goes on and on for such a long amount of time that, like, it becomes almost like nightmarish for me.
Yeah.
Like when it zooms in and they're all like touching it, and I'm just like, what does that even mean? What does it even mean, Stanley?
And then they immediately, like, learn after that, like, its intelligence is passed on to them enough that they learn how to use tools and eat meat out of nowhere.
Someone needs to comment below. How many takes did it take for Stanley Kubrick to be satisfied during the performance where the ape figures out that the bone could be a weapon? That was so brilliant, you know? It felt improvised. It didn't feel like the actor was making, like, calculated movement. It felt like very organic and improvised, you know? And then he beats the hell out of that one ape and shows up that other clan of fucking apes, right?
Murders them.
And then, of course, maybe literally the most legendary scene transition of all time, when the ape, you know, he dramatically throws back the bone, and the bone soars through the air, and then all of a sudden we're not looking at the sky anymore. We're in outer space, and then we see, like, some ship or satellite coming by, and then boom, we're in modern times, you know.
Yeah.
And we're being introduced to, like, kind of where humans are at in this time without being told, right? So we get this sense of the big space stations, and
yeah,
you know how
we've come so far since we touched the big square rock.
Yeah, how people dress, how they eat on board. It's all very specific.
Yeah,
right?
None of that food looked good though.
It didn't. No.
For the whole movie, it just looked really not fun. But they didn't seem to have any issues. Like, they were never like, "Ew, gross, juice box corn." Like, they didn't care. They were just good with it.
But
apparently it was alright.
And I love the mood switch. Like, the music is all of a sudden super, like, happy sounding and whimsical. It's like, what the fuck? It's like it just became Wizard of Oz all of a sudden. And then the sequence with stewardess number 2, I guess is her character name, played by actress Heather Downham, when she bends down to pick up the floating pen.
Oh, that lady.
It's brilliant.
All right. She's stewardess number 2?
Apparently.
Isn't she the first stewardess we see?
I guess. I don't know.
I like that pen, though. That pen looked cool.
The pen effect is still amazing to this very day. I tried looking for the glass, right? I think I caught the glass moving the pen a little bit, but either way, to this day, the effect that they use is ingenious. Yeah. It's ingenious. And then we're introduced to, where is he at? Where's the main guy? I think it's this guy, William Sylvester, who plays the character of Haywood. That looks like him, I'm pretty sure. He becomes our main character for a little bit. We see him Skype call his daughter, which was super interesting.
Oh my god. So.
Oh yeah, by the way, adorable sequence. You the man, Stanley. Adorable. But go on. Where he's talking to his daughter.
I feel like the little girl actress had no idea how to act, and there was just someone in the background being like, say this. And then the guy was just rolling with it really well.
Really well.
Like.
But I think that if it did go down like that, it definitely improved the scene.
Yeah.
For sure.
Her, like, not knowing what the heck is going on and kind of just pulling random answers out of thin air, that's what little kids do.
Yeah, They're
always like, I don't know what's going on. I'm on the spot. What?
Yeah, I like that, you know, she didn't come across like some perfected child actor. I like how she came across as a literal child, for real. No line reading,
just
nothing.
Like, what? Hi.
Like Stanley was just like, just make up some stuff. Anything, just say anything. Remember to smile, you know? I feel like that's what happened. But, well, first off, all the acting in the movie is actually rather fantastic. And Haywood, it's very interesting. You know, we see him on the, you know, the big orbital.
The tourney.
Yeah.
The gyro. Spin.
The big just circular space station, right? And it's amazing, even though they're having conversations that could be interpreted as mundane, but like these sets are fucking impressive. Like
that room with all the that white room with all the red chairs.
Yes.
And I like how they have all those throwback like business names, like there was Hilton and Pan America was on like the rocket ship.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, I was blown away by them. It literally felt like they were inside of a space station.
Yeah.
For real. Even, like, outside the windows when you see, like, the moon turning, you know? It's just like, God damn, Stanley. Or if you stare at the background, you'll notice people walking around or attending to their jobs. It's like, fuck me, Stanley. Like, he really took this shit dead serious. Like, it's just so impressive. And then he kind of hears about how some mission went weird. And then I think that's when they go to when he goes to the moon, and there's the monolith again, right?
But is it the same monolith, or is it a different one?
I feel like maybe it's a different one because they said it was buried originally under the lunar surface.
But then where's the Earth one? Why don't they know where it is?
I don't know.
Where'd that one go?
I don't know how much I don't know. And then when they're on the moon and the astronauts are going up to the monolith, and then when like that huge alarm sound goes off, like,
oh my god,
that's another thing. I'm always
the sounds are so loud and piercing throughout this whole movie. There's just really like later when the life support systems are going, I was just like, stop.
What's interesting is that
die already.
It's amazing how good. It's just interesting that Kubrick, he makes movies that like force you to have a response.
Yeah.
And different kinds of emotional responses at different points of the film.
Yes.
Like something visceral, you know? Because when that alarm went off, it was actually like loud and annoying. And I was like, fuck, he needs to shut this off because like it's actually hurting me. And then when it suddenly turns off, it almost gives you goosebumps, you know? He's just a bold filmmaker. Yeah. He's super bold. He's ballsy, you know?
And I honestly don't even know how many of his films I've seen. I've seen The Shining. Now I've seen this.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm going to roll down the... Hold on a second, people. I'm going to just roll down the windows.
It's not going to help. It's so hot.
Is it?
Just leave it on accessories.
Okay, look, people, you're going to...
Oh, it doesn't work. Fuck. You're going to just have to leave the car run, I guess.
Okay, hold on. It's really
hot.
It's hot, okay?
It's humid.
If you hear the air conditioning, get the fuck over it, okay? It's hot, bitches. It's hot. Anyway.
Turn up the volume. Live with it. Like we have to.
But yeah, he's just a bold filmmaker. I love it. Okay, so the moon sequence.
Now, did he make Repo Man?
No.
Or Repo Man?
No, I don't think so.
The one that I keep wanting you to watch, the old one.
Kubrick?
With the car. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I just, for some reason, I couldn't remember if he. I'm gonna look it up just in case.
Look it up.
You keep going. Okay. I'll chime in when I have to.
And then, okay, so after that, oh well, this is where we meet like David Bowman and like Frank Poole. By the way, you probably already seen it, but like I got to meet the main character.
He was not.
The main actor. I got to meet him.
Remotely involved.
I got to meet him for a moment. Jesus, that's insane.
I did not.
Christ oh Lord. But anyways, one thing that's weird is that the acting from David and Frank is so emotionless. It's almost like Hal has more of a personality than they do.
I think,
and I know for a fact that's it's intentional. Cause
I think David has a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
it's just kind of under the surface. Like he doesn't like yell or scream or anything, but I think it's all in his face. Yeah, but it's there. Yeah, like he's super emotional. He's super scared the whole time, and you can tell. And but he keeps it under control because if he loses his cool, he's gonna die.
Yeah, I was so fascinated when we're just simply like when we're observing Gary Lockwood running around the
I love all that
station.
Stuff.
And it's just amazing how much information about the world we're being given again without being told. So like we're seeing people in sleeping pods, so it's like, oh, so they're with a team. Interesting. Some of these people are still hibernating and so on and so forth. Yeah. It's just amazing the way that you pick up information.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. I like that too. But I like the way they shoot the scenes like that has always interested me. Yeah. Like in that one scene when there's a tube and we're watching them and they're like going up over the tube and then they go up.
Yeah.
Like the whole room they're not turning, they're just walking straight and our whole thing is connected to a big tube and the whole tube is turning.
Yeah, I love sequences where we just see them like doing just routine, mundane maintenance, right? Nothing big. Yeah. But like they'll both David and Frank, they'll be in the same room, but in the way that they're standing, it's like, well, that can't be possible because he's there and he's like sideways over here. It's like, wait, that shouldn't be possible, right?
I like to figure out like how they do that stuff.
Yeah, because you could tell. What's weird is that you could tell like this is happening, but I can't figure out how it's happening exactly. It's just like a magician type of work, or like the sequence where that big shuttle that kind of looks like a ball at the top. It's like being lowered into this room filled with red light.
Yeah,
and we see these
like tiny little people.
Yeah. We see sections
off in the rooms,
and we can see all these rooms, and we can see tiny people moving around. And it was like, what the fuck? That's incredible looking.
Like I was trying to compare the size of the people to the ball to figure out how big the ball was.
Right. God damn.
And at first I was like, that ball's too small. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, that'd be a pretty big fucking ball.
Yeah.
We're all good.
There's so many moments like that are just, even to this day, look amazing. Right? Like there was, like that one shot I was just describing is honestly more impressive than a lot of the movies that I've seen come out this year in theaters. It's like a testament to how good of a filmmaker he was,
I can't even think of what movies I've seen this year.
It's been a lot of shit ones.
If that says anything about it.
Shit, I think I've seen I've reviewed like 30 movies so far. We're getting to 100, okay? But
this year? Yeah. I suppose it's only halfway done.
Oh yeah, we're getting to 100.
The second winter starts, the year is over for me. It's over until the winter is over. So 6 months of the year do not exist as far as I'm concerned. They're gone.
Good Lord Almighty. Actually,
Dr. Strangelove is a Kubrick movie that I love.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
We gotta watch that. Shit, that's another one that we should review.
Hold on, I gotta pull up something. By the way, as I'm pulling this up, there's some crazy motherfucker who uploaded the entirety. Someone turned the entirety of 2001: A Space Odyssey into 569 GIFs, or however you're supposed to.
They're GIFs.
Whatever. Okay, and first off, I just wanted to say shout out to that psycho because that's incredible. Okay,
that's madman.
That's one of the most amazing things I've ever heard of. I'm trying to pull up his. Oh wait,
only that many? It was only like 500 and something.
It took him 569 GIFs, and apparently it's within, you know, he's not breaking there's no copyright infringement. He's like within his right to do it the way that he did, which was the whole point of doing it in the first place. Like he was kind of pushing the limits of copyright infringement. Very fascinating. Check it out. Super interesting. I think he put it up in like 2015.
He got the whole movie.
He got that whole fucking movie.
569 GIFs.
Yeah. No sound, obviously, but
well, yeah, but
it's very impressive. I
feel like just the LSD scene had 569 GIFs worth of content.
It's pretty wild. I'm trying to pull up that page because actually that would be a good page to help me dissect this movie. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is it. You guys should check this out. It's called like a GIF Odyssey or whatever. Check my guy or whoever made this out. Yeah, it's weird that in the Dawn of Man sequence they were working with like real motherfucking animals.
Real tapirs. I love tapirs. They're so interesting looking.
Anyways, while this is loading, so
great.
What else comes to mind? Let me see.
I like
Oh, so we were talking about David and Frank and
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so one thing that's weird is when Frank was like eating like a meal and he was watching essentially like footage from like an iPad. I don't know what else to call it. Then like so Frank joined in and they were both like eating and like watching footage on the iPad. It's just so fucking surreal. Right?
We have iPads now?
Yeah. Well, we have such similar technology now. It's just so odd to me.
Well, it's, what is it, 17 years past when that movie is based in?
It's,
That's like Free Jack, when they were like, the distant, dingy future of 2009, and you're like...
Yeah, there was some moment in this movie where somebody was talking about, or I think Hal was talking about something, and some professor from 1992. But I don't know, it's just weird to hear them referring to 1992 as like some futuristic time.
Destination,
you know? Yeah. Oh,
I wasn't even born yet.
This is the room you can probably see in the upper hand corner that she was talking about with the red chairs or whatever. That shit.
It's a good room. I like how it was like curvy, like it curved at the edges. It was weird.
My boy Stanley. Anyway, so what? David, Frank. Oh yeah, Hal.
Yeah.
Hal 9000.
Yeah.
He makes no mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Except all of them.
I think it's interesting that it's clear. Stanley makes it pretty clear that Hal has his own mind.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should ever have a Siri that has her own goddamn mind.
No, I agree, because
don't nobody need that.
People are unpredictable. Why would you want an unpredictable person spying on you for the government?
Nice reference point. Anyway, but no, Hal scares me.
That's the scene I'm talking about. Oh wait, no, it's not. Never mind, that's not the scene I'm talking about.
Oh, by the way, this scene.
Don't listen to me.
This scene with actually, hold on, let me turn up the brightness. Hey, shout out to the dude who made all those GIFs. He's about to make this review much more simplistic. Anyway, this scene right here with the chick as she like spins, you know, or she keeps walking until she like does this. I love that part.
But that's similar to the one I'm thinking of. It's a very similar scene, and I think it's executed in pretty much the same way I was talking about with the other.
That shot of them in that ball fucking spaceship going towards the moon, like that is so fucking impressive to this very day. The resolution, the way they captured the moon, is just so goddamn impressive. Did they capture the moon, or did they just make a moon? I don't know. I don't know how he did it. My boy Stanley. Oh yeah, and this sequence right here in this room, like all the dialogue done in one take, the way that you know the legendary like white hot windows that Kubrick likes to incorporate. What happened to them after they got beeped? Did they just go home and be like, I don't know. We got a beeping fucking gravestone on the moon. I don't know. Let's go to Jupiter. I don't know. I don't know either. I would have done some shots, to be honest with you. I like that Kubrick is not afraid of the mundane. For example, in this part right here, when they're when they're just in this pod. They're in this pod flying over the lunar surface, right? Yeah, you got it. This scene right here. And it's just like this. Some guy comes back there and like passes him some like I think like food and drinks, and they're talking about the mission. And it's just like I could see how some kids would be like, "It's so boring. Where's some gunshots?" Nah. But like,
it's a long, drawn-out film. I
get that the film is devastatingly slow. I get it, but at the same time, it's master storytelling.
Yeah,
to me,
it's good.
The execution of the story is so high. The technical details are so extraordinarily executed. The performances are all perfect. Like, I go on and on, but the movie's done so well that I don't mind this.
You could probably shave like an hour off that movie just from taking out the extra, like, I'm going to take this long to get somewhere.
I know.
Instead of just being like, we there, you saw it, we got there, boom. But it's just like, watch me do it for 10 whole minutes.
I know. He takes his time. But it kind of plays into what I was talking about, like the movie kind of hypnotizes you. It's weird. It puts you like a...
It puts you to sleep.
It puts you in like a trance.
If you're not careful. Especially that yodeling they do whenever the monolith shows up.
I love that shit.
That was knocking me out.
These scenes right here are so impressive. They're so impressive.
Which one?
Right here. With him running.
Yeah.
You know? It's just
they're just moving the walls around him, though. Like, these circles are separate from the floor, and he's just running in place and doing that, and they're just moving them in circle.
I don't know. I have so much love for the movie that I never went deep into.
I'm pretty sure that's how they get that effect.
He's
just doing this in one spot like a weirdo.
I never went deep into the behind the scenes because I didn't want to undo the magic. But yeah, these sequences right here are just super fascinating from like a technical standpoint. And what they're eating does look pretty fucking terrible as well.
It does. It looks like really thick, like pea.
So why do you think by the way, it's really weird, this sequence right here with what's the boy's name, Frank, when he gets like that saved video call from his parents.
I think that's the other guy that gets that one.
No, Frank.
Yeah, no, that's not Frank. That's
I think
other guy, isn't it?
I don't want to go back because it's going to take too long to come back here.
All right,
but
sorry.
I'm pretty sure this is Frank.
I could
But either way, Gary Lockwood, okay, when he's looking at the video call from his parents, and it's kind of like a little bit...
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's Frank. I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's my fault. I confuse the names. We're both thinking of the same person.
Yeah, but it's a little bit melodramatic, you know. However, when you think about how he dies later on in the film...
Yeah, you feel bad. You're like, his mom and dad love him, and now he's dead.
Like, it's a little bit like, okay, they're laying on the cuteness a little bit too much. But when you think about how he dies, though, it kind of makes it way more emotional if you watch it again, you know.
I felt emotional when it happened. I was like, oh, their son is dead, and they loved him.
And, like, I don't know, it's weird seeing, like, David... Okay, like, when he's like, hey, you want to see my drawings? And Hal's like, yeah, sure, or whatever. But, like, he shows Hal, like, his drawings, you know, it's just like... I don't know. It almost seems like Hal had more of a personality than they did. Like
he liked David better.
Think so?
Yeah, Frank treated him more like a machine, and David treated him more like a person, and that's why Frank was the first to die.
So why do you think Hal kind of just, you know, like in Breaking Bad, why do you think Hal sort of broke bad, so to speak?
Because they were going to kill him.
Well, I mean, he was sort of malfunctioning prior.
He just made a mistake.
Like, remember when...
He's under pressure. Everyone thinks he's perfect.
I don't know.
That's so
he's supposed to be
pressure.
Perfect.
That's so much pressure. And then he was wrong. He's like, I can't be wrong. You have to be wrong. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, you could tell they were like, so nothing was wrong. And he was like...
Alright, but he's like, no, you're wrong.
Or he even puts emphasis on the fact that, like, you know, humans made me or whatever, you know, and they're flawed. So.
He has mad pride. They even brought it up. The reporter was even like, you got pride in your work. And he's like, yeah, bitch, I do.
Yeah.
And now they're like, you're wrong, Hal. And he's like, bitch, you're wrong.
And I love the classic scene of, like, what was it? Hal was telling them to go back out there and to put it back, or put the same thing that they just retrieved.
Put the box back, and they were like, "I don't see any problem with this." Yeah, Yeah, let's go put it back.
I love how David's like, he like makes up some shit. He's like, hey, Frank, you want to come with me?
The pod's broken. We need to talk about it in the pod.
Oh, wait, we got to talk.
And then they don't turn all the way around and they don't do anything in the pod. They just stand there and talk to each other like, not to be suspicious, but we immediately need to excuse ourselves to the pod.
First off, they know damn well
all the sound and stand there and talk to each other and not do anything.
They know damn well they should have anticipated that shit coming.
Yeah,
goddamn robot.
I did.
That's a classic plot twist.
I was like, you gotta turn around, bro.
That's a classic plot twist that he reads her lips. That like, I bet back then, like, the whole audience was like,
yeah, now it's just overused. Like, that's what they did in Eagle Eye, too, with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she didn't read their lips. She read the ripples in the water, in the cup of water.
Oh!
She read the vibrations.
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
She marked it. She felt the vibrations.
Oh, but before that, we gotta talk about the breathing. So when David goes out there to, like, fix this malfunction that's not actually a malfunction.
Yeah, because Hal's wrong.
What I love is that Stanley Kubrick, he never makes you hear anything outside.
Oh yeah, when they're in space, it's silent.
Yeah, so you only hear like audio from like inside the helmet, or
yeah,
like,
there's like hardcore beeping and like you hear that guy breathe all the time.
Okay, when you hear David,
it switches and it's instantly silent.
When you hear David like just breathing as he goes to get, it almost becomes like this weird, uncomfortable, creepy music. I know that sounds odd, but that's what it becomes. Because
like, what is that new whispering thing called where people whisper?
ASMR.
Yeah, it was that for me.
Oh,
like before the intermission, I was like, my eyes were rolling back and I was like falling asleep. I was trying so hard to stay awake because it was just like hypnotic.
It didn't have that. It made me very uncomfortable, actually.
I think it's supposed to.
Very uncomfortable.
But it just made me asleep, basically.
I was just like, get in, go back in. Get in, go back in. And then when they're just like, hey, bud, you want to come talk to me in the fucking pod for a second? And then they should have turned their backs on that motherfucker, right?
They should have given it an hour.
God damn it.
Or something. Or like a couple minutes. They shouldn't have just been like, Hal, you're wrong! And he's just like, no, you're wrong. And they're like, okay, secret meeting in the pod.
Well, if he can't get in trouble from these GIFs, I can't get in trouble from posting the GIFs. Anyway, but this conversation is just so... It's obviously just so goddamn iconic.
If somebody flags you, call that shit. Call them out.
Well, I'm just talking about YouTube. I don't care about any person, but YouTube is strict about their copyright.
Call out YouTube. Be like, it's not copyright. It's a GIF.
And then there was I forget that older movies like this have intermissions because they don't do intermissions anymore. But
I'm happy there was an intermission because I had to pee so bad.
It's weird that they used to do that, but it's kind of cool.
It's because people gotta pee.
True.
Really bad.
True. Yeah, if you gotta go piss or shit, or go get your double dose of that LSD you brought with you. That
would have been the time.
It would have literally been the time. Actually,
you go get a dab.
Because
like one of them little hits, one of them little paper squares.
Yeah, because 2001 is maybe one of the very few films, if not the only one, where like not only does it get stranger and more compelling as it goes on, but like it just totally bottoms out and then it just goes completely fucking bonkers, and then he just ends the fucking movie and he's just like, deuces, bitches. Hey, future generations, hope y'all like it. Have fun interpreting it. And he just took off.
They definitely flipped the switch at intermission. Like, you went off to intermission being like, this is a normal movie. And you got back and they're just like, nope.
Okay, first off, I did not think that. Even, like, just with the Dawn of Man sequence, I knew that this was a different kind of
Well, like, it was a good movie. And it was artsy, but it was still just a regular artsy movie. And then they went off into fucking...
I don't know, because the shots are so... That's another thing. Like, every shot feels so meticulously crafted, you know? Everything seems so carefully placed. Every angle is perfect, you know what I mean? It's like, goddamn. Oh, yeah, just real quick.
And then there's like a 20-minute long drug trip just slapped in there.
Like, moments like this where, like, they're just inside the interior. Like, when we're just... witnessing like the interior of the fucking ship, it's just so gorgeous. all the flashy buttons and shit. It just feels so real.
I love his red suit.
I do too.
That's one sexy suit. I'd wear that around town.
What the fuck was I gonna say?
In the winter. Oh, that'd be such a good snowsuit. Oh my god. He'd be so fly.
So this at the top of the screen, right?
You gotta lower it. Lower it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so at the top of the screen, you see that that room that he enters, right? So that pod door that closes, you see that room right there. Okay, so like I love when it transitions to this room right here, and when it shows him entering it, like the fucking frame, the video frame is so goddamn wide that like when he goes from one part of the room to the other, it's almost like you're seeing like parts of the frame to get like squished as he's walking past. It's really hard to describe because the fucking frame is so goddamn wide and there's so much here. It's hard to describe without the film right in front of me, but what I'm trying to say is that the frame is so motherfucking wide. It's amazing the amount of detail that he's able to fit into it. Even when it's just something simple where like it's the cockpit, and you have like one pilot here, one pilot here, and like the dashboard and shit here, and then like the window and all these individual different lights, different signatured buttons and shit. Like it's just crazy, you know? It's amazing how much information is in one frame at a time. Anyway,
had to stop myself from laughing out loud when all of a sudden that dude was just floating through space.
Oh yeah, when he got blasted.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to happen that quick. I expected it to be more like
no, it was immediate.
Big deal. Like I thought he was gonna be like, no, don't do it. No. Like, you know, like a build up.
No, it was very.
But it was just like he's floating.
It was very.
I was just like, what?
It was so understated, like. In his
like he's off.
In the yellow suit, he just fucking went flying. Okay, he just got blown the fuck away. And David, you could tell David was fucking terrified. He was just like, what?
He was
what
like,
happened?
Where'd you go?
Did you try contacting them? You know, he goes out there, and I guess his buddy suffocated.
His air tube was out, and he was struggling at first, but then he kind of just went limp and kind of flopped his way through space.
He tries to.
And I think the reason he was still moving is because his air thing was open, so it was just blowing air out into space, like like spinning him around.
Mm-hmm. And I loved. Like how creepy, even to this day, like how creepy is this sequence where you see Hal sort of so carefully like just kill all the people hibernating, you know?
He watches them die.
It's so clever too because
it's like so loud.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
god.
When the alarms are going off.
I wanted them to die just so that sound would stop happening, but I felt so bad when they finally did.
Yeah, because it like when it happened, I was like, fuck, why didn't I foresee this happening? Of course this was gonna happen. Like, of course Hal was gonna do this.
Well, yeah.
You know? It's just clever. It's the timing that makes it clever. The timing of them dying. Because you're like, oh no, fuck, now they're all fucked, right? You know? It's clever.
But really, he could have let them stay alive. He could have killed off David. He could have left David behind in his little pod and just left and been like, I don't know what happened. Like, they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known he malfunctioned when they woke up. And they could have done their mission. Like, that was his whole thing. He was like, I gotta complete the mission. I'm like, you just killed the people that were gonna do it. What do you mean?
So, what do you think of the, obviously, iconic sequence, you know, open pod bay doors, Hal, and Hal refuses for once and says no, basically. What do you think about that moment? Because it's one of my favorite moments in the film. Because it's just eerie the way that
he's so like
that he catches David lying, you know?
Yeah.
It's so creepy to me. And David was trying.
He was trying hard.
He was trying hard.
He was keeping his cool. He was like taking them gulps, being like, gotta stay calm, David. I love this robot.
It's a small little touch.
Or you will die.
But I love when Hal sort of reveals himself.
He's just like, what do you mean?
I love how there's like a moment of silence and like you can tell David's like connected the dots and David goes to speak a few times and he's so afraid that he's just like like you can tell this motherfucker's like, oh shit. I am in the shit. You know? And moving right along, so
like, what do you mean, Hal? We didn't do that.
So he basically tells Hal, like, I'm coming up in there, bitch, one way or another, okay?
He's like, good luck without your helmet, bitch.
By the way, that scene, I know that the actor spoke about that. It actually was painful. But this scene where he gets fucking blown into the goddamn airlock
right.
had to have been pretty painful.
Yeah.
For sure, with the wire work, you know? Because he's been yanked and shit. Okay, well, first off, the scene, like, right before he gets blown into the fucking...
I knew that was gonna come in, because he left hints, like, every time it zoomed in on the pod door, it was like, these doors explode! And I was just like, good to know, Stanley Kubrick.
But that scene
good to know.
This scene in the top corner right here, where you see the character, like, getting ready to get fucking blown in there. Like, it's so intense. And then this sequence where he's made it through, right? Hold on a second.
He almost gets sucked back out.
Okay. You see how at the very top, you see him, it should show him walking. It's just him just walking through like a corridor, and it's done in one take. First off, I love the way that that's fucking shot. It's this scene, hold on a second. Right here.
Yeah.
First off, the way
and he's pissed. He's coming for blood.
I love how aggressive that is shot. It's almost shot as if like it's almost as if Stanley said, "Hey, fuck it, give me the camera, put it on his fucking shoulder." There you go, because it feels so aggressive, like it's like a POV. Because you know he's coming to murder.
Yeah.
Okay, he's coming to kill that goddamn robot.
Die.
And I love that David is. See, this is where the drawn out feel works. It's when he's.
When he's slowly
like you know he's doing the murder walk. He's walking to murder with the intent to murder, right? You know he's about to save the fucking day. And when he walks in there, and the way that Hal is like literally begging for his own life.
He never says please. I was waiting for the please.
He didn't?
And he never said it.
Really?
I don't think he did. I wanted him to be like, David, please. And I was going to be like...
Someone confirm this. I didn't catch that.
I might be wrong, true. But I was waiting for it towards the end, and he just kept saying David. And I was like, say please, bitch, so he can say no.
Yeah, and then, you know, of course, in the Red Room, fucking, he floats in there to fucking, basically...
The Red Room is so sexy.
It is.
It's so... just fancy.
Before we talk about the ending, like, so what do you, like, so you just... watched a film, like watched like a film, right?
Yeah.
To me, the look of film, there was definitely something about it, you know? Granted, we saw like a 4K restoration, but like you guys know that I saw that 35mm print of The Wizard of Oz, and there's something about things that are shot on film that, there's definitely an extra something. I don't think that Christopher Nolan's lost his mind. I think he might be right. There's something still, there's some quality about cinema that's shot in like a physical format type of way that feels better, you know? When you're seeing something that's shot in like 24 frames per second, something that's photochemically rendered, say, I don't know, there's something about that there's a surrealism to it, there's like a dreamlike quality to it that it kind of puts you in like a weird trance or something that you don't necessarily get from like The Revenant. Or, like, what's something that's, or like Michael Mann's Public Enemies with Johnny Depp, you know, those super digitally shot films, you know?
Yeah, they would have looked better in film, I think.
I think so.
I've only ever seen one movie in film, and that was The Hateful Eight.
Well, I mean, you've seen many movies in film. Well, you're talking about like an actual screening. Okay.
Yeah, versus like a digital copy of a film that was filmed with film.
Well,
like, I feel like that transference takes something away from it. I feel like watching the film projected off of its film.
Like watching an actual film, you're saying, is maybe superior to watching like a 4K movie on a 4K monitor, maybe.
Well, no, not necessarily, but watching like a film that was recorded on film, but then was digitally copied,
reproduced or whatever. Yeah, sure.
I think it loses something in that transference, probably. Yeah,
it's I don't know. There's something about the color palette of this movie. For this one example, of course, 2001, shot in 70mm. There's something about the color palette that does. There's something so compelling about it. Like the oranges.
It's very bright.
The oranges during the Dawn of Man sequence, of like icy cold blues, and you know, from like the modern day sequences on the spaceship, or even just like like when we saw David's face in full for the first time, I was like, good fuck, Stanley? What kind of camera were you using, bro? The movie looks like it was just shot yesterday.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know?
No, it was...
Anyway, just the cinematography, it just blows my mind. And there's still something about film, you know, that, like, we can't lose it, in my opinion. We gotta keep it, because there is something special about it, for sure. Anyway, so he's unplugging Hal, and Hal's mind is, like, going.
Like, stop it. Stop murdering me, David.
He's like, I can feel my mind going.
Yeah, and he says that, like, 10 times.
Mm-hmm. And I love the scene. I love when he starts singing. Right. That is so fucking creepy. I can't remember the song.
Yeah, it's a creepy ass song. It's called Daisy, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what he said. It was called Daisy. And he was like, I'm crazy, bitch, in the song. Like, one of the lyrics was, I'm crazy, or I'm half out of my mind, or something.
Do you think,
I'm like, yeah, you are.
Do you think him...
accurate.
Do you think him asking Hal to keep singing, do you think that was like a empathy, or do you think that was just to keep Hal distracted while he keeps killing his ass?
I think it was to distract him, but also to keep track of how many faculties he was losing. Because if he was singing, he could track, like, how slow he was getting and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. And then this sequence fucking happens out of nowhere, right?
But he could also be sad. He could be like, oh, I'm killing my friend.
Maybe feeling sympathetic. But then this happens, right? This fucking monitor comes on. Some pre-recorded message starts informing him about goddamn alien life, right? And then, of course, my favorite moment of the whole goddamn film, the ending, the Jupiter, the Jupiter and Beyond Infinite. Okay, see, this is what made the movie 10 out of 10.
I have a question real quick before we get into this.
Sure.
Later, he's like, he walks into that room.
Yeah. And
you see him in the mirror, and he's like older, like he's got a wrinkly face now.
Yeah.
Is that because it took so fucking long to get to Jupiter? Or is that like a hallucination he's getting since he was in the room? Was he that old?
I don't know.
Before he got, like, before he picked up the monolith?
I'm not sure. I've intentionally never, because I've always been more curious about my own interpretation as opposed to others' interpretation.
I'm asking about your interpretation.
That's
what I want to know.
I don't know. We'll get to that in a second, but before we so we get to the whole, he's being taken through a wormhole, Stargate.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck's happening.
So he goes to Jupiter, and there's a monolith.
Yeah, there's a floating monolith, right? And all of a sudden...
And he picks it up with his thingy, with his clamps, and then he's immediately transported through, like, the worst LSD trip of
and then this legendary sequence happens, right? Which is
20 minutes.
Which is so fucking dope. It just it's like the fucking movie bottoms out and goes completely fucking bonkers. It's like Stanley just lost his fucking mind. He's just like, yeah, those are fucking colors over there. Yeah, show a fucking big ass pupil right there. Yeah.
More pupils, different colors.
I felt like in the...
That red and blue landscape where, like, half of it was red and half of it was really blue, that was my favorite one, I think. Yeah, it was all beautiful. It's like this psychedelic acid trip. Yeah, and I really liked it when we were going through, like, random gradients of color and we were, like, going to 0 point. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know what we need? Fucking neon landscapes. 20 different ones. Yes, yeah. And like during these sequences, it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's the Star Child being born? Like, what the hell's happening? I'm like, so confused. Did he die? I don't know. Okay, the only thing I can say is that he understands for whatever reason, and then he dies. For whatever reason, the alien gave him the aliens gave we see the alien give certain people experiences. The aliens give him a goddamn experience for whatever reason. And then, like, they take him on this trip. It's almost as if, like, aliens opened up a fucking wormhole and just chucked him through it. And he just went through, like, all these different, like, dimensions and alternate realities. And then it felt like maybe, like, when we see the different versions of himself. I think he's seeing himself, his mortality, and seeing himself, like, age and die. So... And then he becomes a baby the size of the Earth. Have you... I want a mini-series that takes place, and it turns out he actually was transported. Yeah. And he's a giant baby. Okay. In a fucking placenta sack. And we have to watch the fallout of that. Like, everyone on Earth is like, what the literal fuck? So, I don't want to spoil the movie. I'm sorry I just spoiled the movie. No. I'm just saying, so there's a particular Christopher Nolan movie where this happens, right? But anyway, so...
there's this concept from one of Christopher Nolan's films where, like, what if we had the technology to see far beyond our current dimensions? Like, what if we could pull back so far that time, like actual time itself, was like a physical object?
Time doesn't exist.
Like this box, right? Like, let's say like this box is time, right? And I feel like Stanley Kubrick,
the monolith is time.
He pulled out of time, and time became like this box, right? Like a physical thing. Because when the main character was seeing different versions of himself, and he got older, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like...
And, like, his older self looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing
It's
here?
almost like David somehow pulled back so far that, like, his existence was in front of him physically. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, he could just simply walk over into another room and be 50 years old.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, or walk into this room and be 90 years old, right? Or like, you know, he walks into this one room, he's super old, he's got robes. He walks into another room, and all of a sudden he's bald and dying on the bed, right?
Yeah.
And then the fucking monologue.
I think he was just seeing like his life splayed before his eyes.
Yeah,
and, like,
physically.
Different, yeah.
You know, like different. I don't know. Maybe
but while
like,
he was seeing them, he was also being them.
Yeah. This is such an abstract conversation we're having, but it's a very abstract ending, to be fair. Like, there's no way that we're meant to interpret what's happening in a straightforward way.
I think he had an idea, and he got like 80% of the way through it, and was like, I don't know how to end this.
I don't think that happened. I think it's all intentional. As trippy as it is, I think it's very, very intentional, for sure. There could definitely be moments that are just simply meant to elicit a what the fuck response, but no, I think it's very intentional. Despite how hard of a nut it is to crack, I think it's intentional, for sure. Because it's executed way too carefully, you know what I mean?
Well, okay, I get that he's seeing himself, and he's seeing himself as himself. Mm-hmm. While being himself.
But it's like, why are we doing it in this kind of setting? Why does the room look like this?
And then he becomes a baby, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But why is the baby giant and back at Earth?
I don't know. I think people like to refer to it as a star child.
Is he God now?
I don't know. I mean, is that Stanley's way of saying that he hopes that future generations have like a brighter future, and a future that includes venturing out into space to ensure that humans will always be around? I don't know. Like, there's so many ways you could really interpret the ending, which is why I not only love it, but it's my favorite, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I guess.
But my best crack when he's looking at those different versions of himself is that somehow he's in some dimension where, you know, if he wants to look at his past self, he could just simply walk into another room. It's very weird. It's very weird. And then it ends with the Star Child, and then like Stanley's like, we're done. That's it. The people will love it. Yeah. We're done. Okay. They might hate it at first, but yeah, when I first saw this movie,
and the people on Earth have no idea what the fuck happened. They'll never know what happened.
What's eerie is that the movie suggests, like, what if there was alien interaction that led to us becoming intelligent and advanced. It's kind of creepy. But it's basically almost like confirming like the ancient alien theory in a way, which is super eerie. Fuck, how terrifying would that be? The reason why modern day humans exist is because of some ancient interaction with ancient aliens, basically.
That'd be fine. I don't really care. I think there have been advanced civilizations before us, and once we collapse, there will be advanced civilizations after us. I think they're the first advanced civilization, too.
Oh, no. By the way, speaking of collapsing, here's a fun fact. Kiddos, think about this sometime for a long amount of time. It'll give you nightmares. Underneath the Yellowstone Park, there's a fucking super volcano.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
It's real. But here's the thing, though.
It's overdue.
We're long overdue.
We're overdue.
So this motherfucking super volcano, and I'm not joking neither. It's real. You can go look this up right now. Try to prove me wrong if you like. You're gonna run into some problems. But essentially, I know, like, as recently as like 2013, it took a deep breath. Okay, and like the environment, like around it, like rose a few feet or something like that. It could erupt like 5 minutes from now. It could erupt 100,000 years from now.
How big is the eruption supposed to be? Are they guessing?
If that fucking thing erupted,
is it gonna take out all of North America? Is
not only
everything just gonna die.
Not only has the government made it explicitly clear that if it explodes, there's nothing humanly possible that could be done to prevent it. But if it explodes, essentially, America in its entirety, as we know it, will probably collapse, pretty much. Like, we're about to get Pompeii, basically.
Essentially, yeah. But do you know how fertile this bitch is gonna be in like 100 years after the eruption?
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't.
Fertile land.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, because it's about to be like Mad Max Fury Road for real.
Fertile land and free real estate.
Anyway, jumping off.
Free real estate.
We're getting off subject. Anyways, fuck, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Up until this point, I think, well, obviously there's the Matrix aside, okay, because it's my favorite movie of all time. But that aside, I think 2001 might be the greatest science fiction movie ever made. I think, because before it was Sunshine from Danny Boyle in 2006-07, but I love Sunshine with Danny Boyle. First off, the concept of human beings going to the sun with a bomb because the sun is dying, so they're going to reignite the sun so that the Earth doesn't die. If that's not one of the coolest plots of all time, then I just don't know what the fuck is. So I love Sunshine. That's been my favorite science fiction film for a long time. It's just a gorgeous movie. But I gotta say, that goddamn Kubrick, you know? I mean, there's just so many layers to 2001. It's almost unusual what he was able to pull off with this movie.
I have to watch it again.
Visually. It's amazing.
I don't think I liked the really super abstract bottom out.
The ending? I love the ending.
In accordance
just
with the
no
rest
fucks
of the movie.
given.
I know.
Yeah. I love it.
I like it as a concept, but I don't think I like it with the.
I do, because it makes
the beginning of the movie.
It makes the movie a full circle, in my personal opinion. Like, particularly with the beginning, because with the beginning we're seeing the dawn of man, and the end it's like, are we seeing the future of our civilization? I don't know. It's really interesting. It's almost like we start with the literal beginning, and then we start with where we're going, or we end with where we're going, I suppose. Or where he hopes that we're going, maybe. I don't know. But to me, there's so much about it that's worth puzzling over.
Well, yeah, like, it's good for that, but I don't know. I wanted certain things throughout the movie.
Did you want a more straightforward resolution?
Yeah, I wanted a resolution, and there was not one. Which is good, but it's not what I wanted. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a artwork.
Well, I always loved it because, you know, for me, great films are the ones that are, you know, you revisit again and again, and it's great every time. And I think this fits that category so well because there's so much about it that's unknown. There's so much about it that's intentionally confusing, cryptic.
See, that stuff pisses me off, though, because
I
you'll
like
never
it,
know.
though.
Like, at this degree of cryptic, you will never, ever, ever know.
I mean, it's not implausible that one day someone could have an interpretation of the ending that's just like, oh, fuck, I think we now have a new understanding of the ending. It's definitely possible.
It's very vague. But I'd have to rewatch it. It's the first time I've watched it. So I need a rewatch.
I can't believe this is your first time watching 2001 Space Odyssey.
I've had chances before. Like, it's been on Netflix, and I've had it on my Netflix list. I've just never gotten around to watching it. It's a very long movie. Well, it's reasonably long movie.
It's a very long movie.
Yeah.
The fuck? It's like 149 minutes or some shit. Good God. Or like, it's like 2 hours and 40-ish minutes.
It's long.
It's long, for sure. Well, just to put this in context, we saw this fucking movie at 12, okay, and we got out, what, at 3? 3, yeah. God damn.
It was 12:30. It started at 12:30.
12:30, yeah.
We got done at 3.
And I love the intermission.
Ish.
The intermission it was an actual 20-minute intermission. I know we spoke about that a little bit, but I just loved the intermission. It was just dope.
I like having intermissions in longer movies. It gives me a chance to, like, stand up and...
It also, well, there was many points where I felt like this, but particularly with the intermission, it really felt like I wasn't so much watching a film, but almost like a event, you know. I felt like I was watching something like important.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to just casually watching a movie. So that's
just like,
that
hey,
part's cool.
Stop focusing on your bladder. Take care of it and come back. Pay attention.
Obviously, this is a 10 out of 10 film. Obviously, I've loved it for many years, but I still get something new out of it every single fucking time I see it. Okay, to me, it's the greatest. Again, my favorite movie aside for a second. The greatest science fiction film ever made. I think it's just the amount of thought that went into this movie is fucking just mind-blowing. Like, goddamn, the amount of visual detail in this movie, the hypnotizing, fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, who did the music for that one?
Shit, I can't think of the name of those.
Did they write that intro for this? Because that's like a famous...
Write the intro?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like the intro that plays at the very beginning when the... And that was cool. Like, they did a lunar eclipse lineup where it was like the sun, and then it was the Earth, and then the moon.
Where it's like, you know, directed by Stanley Kubrick, and then the title card.
That opening song, it plays when the ape finds out how to hit stuff. Too.
I can't think of the name of the song.
I can't either. Okay. It's very famous.
I'm not that sweaty.
You know it.
I know it.
Everyone knows the song.
Right, but it's so legendary.
It's iconic.
Yeah. Because it makes you feel like you're watching something epic.
Yeah. So was that written for this? Is this where it's from, or did it exist? Does it predate this?
The song.
Classic? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was initiated when this movie came out. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Either way, the song is like so. Well, all the music is so famous. You know.
Yeah.
I know Chris Duckman has spoken to this effect, but there's just something like hypnotizing about this movie. You know.
Yeah.
And there's something that sticks with you when you're done watching it and you're sort of picking it apart in your mind. You're like, wait, what the fuck? This dude was a goddamn genius, you know? Just such a genius.
That first half of the movie before the acid trip feels like one way, and then everything after that is just like...
Yeah.
And that throws me off. Well, it had a feeling. It had like a...
Well, to me, I feel like it doesn't feel so... left field, because I guess to me the usage of like the monolith throughout the film always made me feel a certain type of way, like what the fuck, like I'm not sure where this movie's going, but it's definitely gonna end somewhere I'm not expecting for sure. It's just a very different kind of movie, because when it just goes completely nuts at the end, like it's just like, whoa, did the director just like just like
have a fucking
start eating some LSD lollipops? And I know there had to have been a lot of people back then like just going super fucked up just to experience that part, you know. They
went out and got it at the intermission and then popped back in.
It's a long stretch too, like we're seeing a close-up of the eye turning colors and shit. It's like, what the fuck? A good, like, it had to have been at least 10 minutes long of just random fucking colors and bullshit. I think that's when he wanted people to start like lining up the shots and getting their drugs out. Yeah. Getting ready. That's you got to get ready at the intermission. It's so like it has time to kick in. Yeah, what's weird? You're at peak drug proficiency. You can almost use it as like a moment to start like celebrating the film in that way. So bizarre. You know, like, let's get fucked up, guys. Yeah. Get ready for this. Stanley. But yeah, what do you think? Well, it's so weird because you just saw it though. But what do you think you would score it like out of 10? Well, you just saw it though. That's the one. The bad thing. Score things right away. I gotta like see something twice in order to score it accurately. Yeah, because the first time I saw this movie, I didn't like it. Surprisingly, I thought that it was way too slow. I thought that it was way too ambiguous in certain moments, and the music sometimes felt like it's like this is a bit self-indulgent. No, or so that's kind of how I first interpreted it. But again, when I started like thinking about it in hindsight, I was like, God damn it, I think this son of a bitch outsmarted me. It was very loud in the IMAX. I would have turned that down like 2 notches. No, I liked it. Okay. It was, I think, hit me with the volume was a little higher than it's meant to be. I thought it was fine because little bit. It just not too bad, just a little bit. It just increased the level of immersion for me.
It pulled me out.
Did it?
Because it was too loud.
Wow. I didn't think it was that loud, but just my boy Stanley giving no fucks.
Like it was happening, I was just like, oh my god.
Like with that guy's breathing, it was getting to a point where I was just like,
I was okay with the breathing, but like the louder sounds and like the music was always really loud, and I was just like, oh my god.
But okay, well I guess you can. Well, I guess final thoughts about the movie.
No, it's really good. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would tell people to watch it.
Yeah.
If I knew they could handle the length. Like I wouldn't tell Sam to watch it.
No.
No, he wouldn't. He would get bored. It's too long for him.
Well.
But there's people that I would tell to watch it. Can I have a piece of that gum?
Oh, yeah. It's so motherfucking good. The classic. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to review this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Definitely make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. And we got like a 3-hour drive back.
It's going to be so fun.
Fuck.
Woo.
We out.
Bye. Yeah.